A strike at the Kentucky truck plant's been avoided thanks to an agreement between the UAW union and Ford. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Brooke Hash. Local 862 President Todd Dunn confirmed a tentative agreement was reached this morning, affecting about 9,000 workers. The plant is Ford's largest and most profitable, accounting for about $25 billion in annual revenue. Town halls are in the works for early next week, with the hope of a vote beginning Wednesday morning and lasting through Friday night. In a statement Ford's statement that was released about 2 hours ago, the company said it is pleased to have reached that tentative agreement on a new labor contract covering the Kentucky truck plant and its 8,700 valued UAW Ford employees. JCPS is pushing back against moves to split up the district. In his State of the District address, Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio said that would be the most detrimental decision to the community in years, though some Kentucky lawmakers feel differently. Our Taylor Woods explains.
Splitting up JCPS into smaller districts, JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio used his State of District address to take on Kentucky lawmakers pushing back.
Splitting up the district, this is my opinion, I believe this, it will be the most damaging decision made to this community in many, many years.
But Republican lawmakers from Louisville are looking to create a commission to study all angles.
There's nothing settled on this commission. We're coming in with a blank slate.
But Polio sees it as another attempt by lawmakers to control JCPS.
Not only will our teachers in our high-need schools not be paid $8,000 more, they will actually be paid $8,000 less.
Dr. Polio challenged state lawmakers to make sure the commission is well represented with those who are most marginalized.
That's a very valid point, and we want to make sure that we don't inhibit the diversity. We don't want to inhibit the kids in terms of being successful.
Kentucky Republican Representative Ken Fleming is sponsoring the resolution to create the efficient and effective school district governance task force. Although the resolution hasn't officially passed, Republican Kevin Bratcher of Louisville says they're just looking in from the outside to see how they can make the district better.
We're going to look at many different things, but the major one is Jefferson County Public Schools too big?
In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 on your side.
The resolution was introduced in the House and is now waiting to be heard by the Education Committee. JCPS district leaders plan to address next year's transportation plan in the coming weeks. In his address to the district, Dr. Polio praised the district's transition choice zones. Those zones allowed families to keep students closer to home. Polio said he's also proud of the district's move to a reading curriculum standard, something that's happening with math as well.
We trained 4,000 teachers this summer when it came to teaching literacy. Math is next. We already have about half our elementary schools. That's this summer. We'll have to train 6,000 more this summer.
Dr. Polio also expressed support for an optional backpack league program for students. It's a 4-week program over the summer that originally launched to help with pandemic learning losses. Videos like these of fights at JCPS schools have not only been posted on Instagram, but on specific pages set up for this kind of content. And more continue to pop up. Experts say they are taking cyberbullying to a whole new level. Our Focus investigator John Charlton is exploring this disturbing trend and asking the big question on every parent's mind: why hasn't more been done to take these fight pages down? That's coming up tonight on WHAS 11 News at 6. The New Lou apartment complex destroyed by fire Monday morning is set for demolition. Louisville fire crews are still on watch after that massive fire ripped through the 310 at New Lou building. The fire chief, Brian O'Neill, said the interior floors collapsed and they're now worried about the exterior walls doing the same. That's why he has called for that emergency demolition.
Our Fire Prevention Bureau has been over there to take a look at it. They have put in an order for emergency demolition. Now that's going to go to the city, and the city will have to decide when that happens and how that happens.
64 people lost their homes in that fire. Mayor Craig Greenberg said all of them have places to stay and are receiving help from the Red Cross. The Louisville Fire Department said all of the victims had renter's insurance, which will help replace their possessions. Food Network chef Darnell Ferguson, also known as Super Chef, was just indicted on several charges connected to a domestic violence incident. A Jefferson County grand jury indicted Ferguson on assault, burglary, and strangulation. Police allege he attacked his estranged wife at her apartment on January 2nd, making her fear for her safety. Ferguson previously pleaded not guilty. He'll be back in court on Monday. Negotiations have officially started on the contract that will dictate Louisville's future. Under the watch of the U.S. Department of Justice, the federal consent decree is the list of reforms Metro government and the LMPD will promise to meet in the foreseeable future. Our senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez walks us through the next steps.
It's been called the living, breathing document that'll determine Louisville's path forward for years to come, a federal consent decree. Mayor Craig Greenberg announcing Tuesday that his office, alongside the Jefferson County Attorney and LMPD, have started initial negotiations with the U.S. Department of Justice to, quote, receive and review the first draft. Hours before the announcement, Greenberg was asked at an unrelated news conference when the public would know more. The mayor saying the DOJ has advised for the draft document to be confidential, promising he and LMPD's chief will keep the city as updated as possible.
I am planning to be as transparent as the United States Department of Justice will allow us to be. And I will simply say, stay tuned.
This comes nearly a year after the DOJ stepped foot into the Louisville mayor's gallery. In March of 2023, Attorney General Merrick Garland announced their investigation found repeated and routine incidents of LMPD officers depriving people, disproportionately black people, of their constitutional rights. Once agreed upon, the consent decree will require a list of reforms to fix these problems. An independent monitor will measure progress, and ultimately a judge will decide whether the city is meeting a constitutional standard that can last. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS11 on your side.
It is important to note the city and the DOJ have already agreed in principle to move forward with a consent decree. It's just a matter of when and how much LMPD will be required to change. We expect to learn more in the coming months. And last year, we did a series of reports looking at what a consent decree looks like in places like New Orleans. The city's been under one for years and shares both the pros and the cons. You can watch the road to reform right now on our website, WHAS11.com.